Dragon Ball Daima and Sparking Zero are right around the corner, and the 10th arc of Dragon Ball Super is on the horizon, possibly the Black Frieza arc. Dragon Ball fans are cooking again, it's our time. However, before we get to that, I've made an entire video that scales the entirety of the full 9 arcs of Dragon Ball Super, and now I'm releasing it in parts due to popular request, and each of these 9 parts are based on the 9 arcs of Dragon Ball Super, and the length of these videos should be much more palatable. And if you are enjoying these smaller sized parts, you can always hop over to the full length video. The comment section is on fire, go over there. Do not let Dragon Ball Dave be the king of the comment section, we will never hear the end of it. Anyway, here's part 1. So first up, Battle of Gods, only 4 chapters and very short chapters at that. This was a manga version of Battle of Gods that was ultimately summative of the movie. This arc shouldn't take long. So Battle of Gods in the manga was really a summary of what happened in the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie. But interestingly, the manga adaptation of Battle of Gods did actually miss certain details, not that are relevant to scaling the series. The first one being that Goku never states that a Super Saiyan fusion can't defeat Beerus, therefore never pitting Super Saiyan God versus a Super Saiyan fusion against each other like the anime does. And as we go through this video, you'll see that Super Saiyan God being stronger than a Super Saiyan fusion doesn't particularly work in the manga anyway. But whilst being quite faithful to the original Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie, there are a few more omissions which we'll get to in just a moment. Now in chapter 1 not a lot particularly happens, it's really just the exposition of the arc, but the one motive of Beerus that I really want to put a lens on is the fact that Beerus is searching for the Super Saiyan God. That's his objective and the super objective of this arc, and that matters. In chapter 2 he goes to North Kai's planet, he wallops Goku in Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. I do like the manga version of this because you don't get the absolutely decrepit animation we got in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, but an omission here is he doesn't mention where Goku lies in regards to Frieza from Namek, which is a big difference from what happens in the anime where Beerus states that he doesn't think base Goku could defeat Frieza. So not in the manga. However, that isn't that important of a point when we're getting to Battle of Gods level. Ultimately we're looking at Super Saiyan 3 Goku here and I'm getting the first sticker. Now I've scored Goku at 6,700 in terms of his power up. We know 4 years have passed since the Buu saga, and as I stated earlier in the video, 7,000 is really where the Battle of Gods level powers begin, whereas most of the cast at this point before Goku gets Super Saiyan God are ultimately at Buu saga levels. It's been 4 years since Buu saga from this point. Goku would have got stronger via training, so I put him in the higher echelons of power in the 6,000s. He's got the minus there because we know Super Saiyan 3 is an incredibly fatiguing transformation. Of course Super Saiyan 3 at this point is not enough to take on Beerus. He is looking for the Super Saiyan God. Goku has no further power-ups. Beerus literally shows that he's him in this moment and basically karate chops Goku into unconsciousness and then heads for Earth. In chapter 3, Beerus basically smokes all of the Z warriors on Bulma's ship. Gohan literally gets reduced to Mr. Buu levels, not even Fat Buu levels, guys. Remember, this is Mr. Buu, not the Fat Buu we saw in the Buu saga. Whilst this is a version of Ultimate Gohan, Gohan hasn't really been training. He has lost power, but he seems to get knocked out at the same time as Mr. Buu. So I put him at 6,200 with a minus there because this version of Gohan, whilst his ultimate form is actually quite a efficient form, he is out of shape and doesn't have that warrior mentality we learn about later in other arcs. Then of course there's Mr. Buu himself, who I've given 6,100 basically because we know he's one of the weaker Majin Buus that there is out the line of all the Majin Buus we saw in the Buu saga, and he's basically very early Buu saga levels with 6,100. I've given him 2 pluses because we know that Majins have adept magic, as well as the fact his regeneration is actually insane. So hopefully that gives you a better idea about what these pluses and minuses are about. Of course, whilst having 2 pluses, he does have the lowest raw power ranking yet out of the 3 characters I've scaled. Onto Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Now Gotenks is a particularly hard one to scale at this occasion, but as we've given Mr. Buu 6,100, we know that Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks in the Buu saga was on par with Super Buu, if not stronger, so I've given him 6,400. Now, he's not forsook his training. Well, Goten and Trunks haven't forsook their training like Gohan has for the past 4 years. However, we do know that Super Saiyan 3 is a heavily straining transformation, just like with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but also Gotenks has child's moves and basically fights like a child, not a warrior, so he's got 2 minuses. Of course, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks gets spanked by Beerus. He's no threat to Beerus either, and as I'm going on, you can see that these are basically Buu saga levels. It's not really implied that these particular characters we've gone over so far have gotten much stronger. Only Goku may have gotten stronger because he's the only one that continues training. Gohan, Gotenks and Buu haven't been been implied to have gotten stronger or trained since then, although they may have. Now, someone who definitely did get stronger in this particular arc is Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. As you can see on his sticker, he's got 6,500. He's enraged in the moment. It's his mind boomer moment. He actually manages to land on Beerus. Now, in the manga, it doesn't mention him in comparison to Super Saiyan 3 Goku like it does in the anime. In the anime, it actually states that Vegeta is not as strong as Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even though it's implied in the movie. But he does perform better than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. And in Super Saiyan 2, he doesn't have the strain of Super Saiyan 3. But Beerus isn't impressed by him either, and eventually Goku arrives back for Chapter 4. In Chapter 4, which is the final chapter of the Battle of Gods, like I said, it's short. I've given God Goku a power of 7,500. Super Saiyan God doesn't have the strain of Super Saiyan 3. It's a much better form, and this represents the Battle of Gods, Super Saiyan God levels of power at this particular point. However, despite impressing Beerus by continuously getting stronger with his new godly state and use of godly ki, Beerus is still heavily suppressed. So I've given him 7,600 because we know he defeats Super Saiyan God Goku, so he's basically using a bit more power than Goku by the end. As you can see with all the pluses of Beerus has, as we know later in the arc, he's got semi-ultra instinct, Hakai, vital point attacks, and quite literally, God knows what else. In his millions of years of training with Whis, an omission from this chapter that was in the movie, it's not stated that Beerus used 70% of his power against God Goku here. As you'll see throughout this video with the different stickers of Beerus, it's quite clear that the God scale used for the Battle of Gods movie is now defunct, unless you can make it work in some weird inverse scaling theory. So to conclude, the strongest in this arc, you would never have guessed it, is Beerus, using 0.01 possibly to the power of Zeno knows how much of his true power. As promised, here's the bar chart. Everybody loves a bar chart. I don't think there's too many controversies about this arc. Obviously, you may contend with Super Saiyan God being stronger than Super Saiyan Fusion, and possibly Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta being stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Let me know down in the comment section